Come on, come on. There we go. Whether you're a lifelong keeper or just getting started, help us encourage responsible keeping, conservation, and public education in the interest of keeping our reptiles safe and healthy as we protect them for future generations. You're invited to spend time with us as we experience these awesome animals together on Intrepid Exotics. What's up, guys? We made it. Finally. How's everybody doing tonight? Got a couple things to check here real quick. Okay. Yeah. Just finally stopped like 15 minutes ago. Had to run around, get my coffee, and all that good stuff. Let me know in the chat. I'm using, as you can see, I don't have this big friggin' thing right here in my face. Move this off to the side. I'm using a shotgun mic tonight, so let me know how the sound is. If there's anything I need to tweak or turn up or anything like that. Should be good. I tested it. Seemed like it did a little bit better. Let's see. One banner's got to go up. USARK. Back up there. Stay. Been a crazy friggin' busy week, man. Even missed the last 2 days of working with the new Tegu, just because I'm getting home from work late, and then Thursday night we had the had that podcast that we did for Chris. What the hell's the name of it? I apologize. I forget the name. Unhinged and Untamed, I think was the name of it. He's changed here recently. He was doing a different one with somebody else. But, yeah, good guy. He's starting this one off. I think he's got like 20 episodes or something like that down so far. And he's really collaborating with anybody that he can, man. He's getting some really cool folks on there. So keep an eye out on the Facebook page and all that stuff. And I'll be more than happy to make sure that the links are going out when we jump in and chat with him. And of course, I still haven't got the real rattle on my cup yet, but let's see. Trying to check this stuff over here. And are you working? I run this up on a couple monitors when I first get started, just to see what it looks like, because this big monitor kind of washes out a little bit. It looks like it's kind of dark. What's it seem like to you guys? I'm still tweaking a bunch of stuff here with the camera, reworking some lighting, all that other stuff. If you guys have been following on Facebook, you know that I put a post up there the other day that we're going to start working on making some changes. I sat here yesterday, spent like all day after work, all the way up till about midnight, 1 a.m, going through my B-roll, my photos, my videos, and all that stuff, so that I can actually find it and start putting it in with some of the videos and kind of up into production quality. Found my wide angle lens for this, if you can't tell, so we can see more now. And we also have one of our bigger snakes up here tonight that is always dying for attention. So I thought tonight would be a really good night to bring him out. Let's see who all is with us so far tonight. Erica, good to see you. Brandon is here. Turtles. That's not a turtle in the picture. That's a cool little lizard, though. Judd, how you doing? Judd said she's going to be doing a bunch of work and listening. Hey, Serenity Dragons is here. First time catching a live. Welcome aboard, man. Good to see you. Oh, let's see who else we got. Serpents OG is here. Colleen is here. My mother is in the house. Panther Palette, good to see you. John, what's going on, Kimosabi? Holly is with us tonight. Holly from Texoma. Awesome person. She's got some awesome animals out there. Nicole, good to see you. Doing very well. Going to have a very busy day tomorrow. I'll go into that once I get caught up. So make sure I don't miss anybody right off the bat here. Travis is with us. What's up? What's up? Let's see. Yes, it is. There's a cute little Savannah. And Slow is with us. Absolutely. You guys rock. I always love seeing you guys on stuff. Let me see. I don't know, man. It still looks, when I look on my other monitor, like on my big monitor here that I've got in front of me, everything, the lighting, all that stuff looks right. It looks a little dark on that one. And I can't change any of that. We're just going to run with it. Hey, Bet and Greg are here. I'm guessing that's Greg. So, but yeah, man, I finally broke down and see when I first started filming, I spent like the first 2 years practically on this channel filming it all off the cell phone. And I got this really good idea that I was going to go ahead and get a tracking gimbal for the cell phone so that I could go outside and it could follow me around and all that stuff, and it would make filming so much easier. And it'd be better to start capturing really good B-roll with. And I had that for a little while, and then ended up getting this camera, which of course needs a different gimbal. So this just got in here about an hour ago from Amazon. This beast. This is a Hohem tracking gimbal. These things are friggin' amazing. Get the camera set up on here. It'd be really cool if I could set it up in here. I've just got to figure out how to make it work with the cables and attaching it to the computer and stuff. But with the wide angle lens in here, you can see everything in this tiny little room anyway. But this would be a game changer for me. This with the new camera, as I'm learning how to use it, should start getting some pretty good footage. So this should be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And of course, it's going to be nice out tomorrow. So we're going to be taking the animals outside, getting them some exercise, getting some good footage of them. North Carolina Exotics is here. Good to see ya. Christina, how you doing, my friend? Outstanding. So before we get too far along, hey, what's up? Everything just blacked out for a second. I think everything might be getting kind of hot. Hey, put another fan on the CPU here. Let me know if you can hear that fan in the audio. If you can, then I'll back it down a little bit, turn it down. But it gets kind of warm in here. I close the door, especially when I'm having a snake out, because we've got a miniature pincher. And I got a big snake that eats rabbits the size of the miniature pincher, so I don't want to have them running into each other while they're out. Could be bad. Let me see here. Turn a couple of these lights up. See if it makes me look like a ghost or if it helps. I got the big box lights and stuff down there that I can bring up. But yeah. Okay, I guess that's good enough. Let me... I'll bump it down one so it's not a wind tunnel over there. That might be a little bit better. So, okay. And I see, hey. Anthony, good to see you. And that big old iguana there. Things are awesome. And I love male iguanas. That big. So I was so happy about this male tegu too, because he's going to get that same. So I just went down there earlier today and gave him some greens before I feed him some fish and shrimp and stuff like that on the weekends. Give him a little bit of meats, but Trying to keep his greens up, get him good and healthy. Half deaf in one ear and can't hear out of the other one. Yeah, Betty's been making it. I think she's been here the last couple times. So we've got pretty much our regular crew with us tonight so far. And I think everybody knows the USARK stuff, but in sticking with tradition and making sure that I cover this every week, we're going to look at this real quick, see what's going on. Share this screen. That one. There. Okay. So, weekly USARK update. We won. Yeah, just there's nothing new has really come up. Same things that we talk about every week, man. We had those first 5 that came up that we was dealing with this year. They got shot down. We got the one out in South Carolina that's not necessarily a bad one, but it's something to keep an eye on. And there's one more too, but I don't know. It's in the works at the legislature. It's not actually been proposed yet, but it's something that you're keeping an eye on. I'm not mentioning it until I get some actual details of what actually comes out from one of the USARK guys. But if you guys keep animals of any kind, USARK is an absolute blessing to anybody that keeps animals. Every year, there's some kind of new legislation that comes out, and it's hidden in a bill that's this thick. And Phil and the guys get out there, they dig through it. They spend so much time digging through legislation to find these little blurbs in there that could really have a bad impact on businesses, on pet shops, on keepers, on everybody. And there was actually one of them that they shot down this year that is, it was like a pet tax where you would have to pay a flat fee for every animal that you had. And the way it was written, it was like if you've got a fish tank with 20 fish in there, that's 20 times whatever their fee was going to be. You talk about somebody's breeding snakes or something like that. If you got 200 snakes, that is a huge expense. Stuff like that. I mean, that one was pretty nonsensical, but our government's really good at doing nonsensical crap right now. So, I wouldn't want to be the one having to go through all that legislation, which is like I said, any kind of animal that you got, get on board. The memberships for these guys are real easy stuff. The numbers really matter. You guys can see for yourself, 20, 40, they've got sustaining memberships, $5 a month. These other ones, $250, $1,000, even those aren't too bad. We're talking annually, but get on, do as much as you can, add to the numbers, and then just contribute what you can. The lawyers, the lobbyists, all that stuff, it all costs money. So enough of that. Like I said, there's nothing pressing right now that really needs our attention, but there will be. There always is. And definitely. Let's see. Here, fan on. Okay, this is where we go. Yeah, we're a terrible influence. Got her addicted to reptiles too. Gotta love it. It happens so much, man. I see so many people down in the comments of the videos talking about them, just terrified of snakes, didn't want anything to do with them. All of a sudden, now they've got 10 of them. So, always great to hear. Always great to hear. George Winkleman, how are you doing, sir? Your brother Tim, you're doing amazing conservation. Help keep teaching others to love, as well as how to train. Outstanding, man. I really appreciate the encouragement. We're working on it. I had somebody, I was sitting on that podcast the other day, who was asking about, how many channel sponsors you got and all that other stuff. We've got the Patreon and all that, but you see a lot of these other podcasts out there, sponsored by so many other people and stuff like that. I haven't really focused on that. I've been focused on, haven't even really been focused on video quality too much, simply because, it's kind of bare bones, get the animals out, work with them, get the information across. And we've gained a pretty big following off of that, but we're kind of hitting the point now where I've got just about all the equipment that I could ever ask for in order to make sure I'm getting all of this stuff on point. So I'm really looking at people like, Leviathan Snakes, the way they've got their content put out. The guy is just on point. He's got really clean video, really great editing and stuff like that. So we're going to start upping our game here. Is actually spending a little bit of time working on a new intro for the channel. And I know that intro is what's drawing a lot of people to the channel. Is they look at it and it just looks so professionally done and awesome. And I'm really proud of how it came out. But it's a little long, and I want to keep the message in there. See if I can shorten it down a little bit, maybe put a little bit better footage than what I've got in there now. The animals, which would be really good, really easy for me to do with the new camera, all this other gear and stuff. Excuse me, I just ate a little while ago. So yeah, I want to kind of shorten that up a little bit. And I need to, because in my regular videos, I keep forgetting to mention USARK. And I really got to stop doing that. So part of my intro, I'm going to develop something for USARK to put in there so that it's in there every time. I don't have to worry about it. I've thought about taking that intro completely out, but so many people like it. And I think for people that it's their first time seeing a channel, I think it does a really good job of kind of relaying what we're all about here. So I want to keep that spirit to that, just kind of shorten it up. There's all kinds of little tweaks that we want to do because, the bottom line is when we talk about doing stuff like encouraging people to join USARK, it has a lot more impact if you've got 100,000 people subscribed to your channel than if you've got 10,000 people subscribed. If you've got 500 people on your live streams when you're doing it and you're talking about the USARK stuff, that's exponentially more than if you've got 10 or 20, stuff like that. So here moving forward here pretty quick, I really want to start working on really banging out the algorithm as much as I can, see if we can't really grow the channel. So of course, that being said, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, get the notifications and all that stuff, because whenever anything USARK related, anything important comes out, I'll make special videos about that, going into detail. And then, of course, like you've seen here, we go into the USARK stuff every Saturday, whether there's anything going on or not. Just like the live streams, whether there's anything going on, whether we've got anything to talk about or not, we're still going to have it, just because we got a really awesome community here. And Jed was talking about how absurd that pet tax was. That pet tax was ridiculous. Jim, how are you doing, sir? He's asking. No, see, what USARK does, she was asking if USARK is just for exotic animals. Say, for instance, the country finally gets smart and decides to start putting some kind of regulations on cats, because as much as everybody complains about our invasive Burmese down in Florida and the possibility of a reticulated python being invasive to Alaska, feral cats are one of the things that is destroying ecosystems. Australia recently, I don't want to say they made it mandatory, but there's some law that they put into place that it's like, encouraging everybody. If you see a feral cat, kill it, because they're wiping out so many of the reptiles and birds out there. But anyway, say for instance, they go out and some state says, okay, well, feral cats are really, really dangerous. They suck. We're going to ban them completely. Any kind of a pet ban like that, USARK is the one that's got the lawyers and the lobbyists, and they will look over the legislation. If something's really unfair like that, they go in, they let everybody know about it. They generate letters to the representatives, and they'll go down, they'll speak at committee and FWC hearings and things like that, generates a bunch of mail from the community, from the registered voters, in order to get bad stuff like that stopped. So it's not just for exotics. Just like that one where they was talking about the pet tax, that applied to cats, dogs, mice, ferrets, rabbits, hamsters, fish, reptiles, horses, cows, pigs. I don't know. They might add a livestock clause in there or something. But yeah, that applied to everybody. And USARK was really instrumental in getting that blocked. So now you don't have to pay that extra pet tax on your dog. And I don't have to pay that extra pet tax on the dog, the prairie dogs, the battle hamster, the hedgehog, all our rats and snakes and stuff. So, oh, hey, Seagrave, how are you doing? Good to see you. Laura made it. Yep. Yeah, just like Christine was saying, they're focused on reptiles, native and exotic, and just like we was talking about too. Anything that affects any animal, Phil and the guys are really, really on top of it. Yep. Yeah, and Greg just kind of reiterated what I said too. Because that pet tax would have affected everybody. Yeah, beardies can be friggin' little trash compactors, man. I'm still so proud of the poor little disabled guy I got downstairs, man. He is a chow hound. He will put away some food. Yep. Yeah. My beardie will eat anything I put in front of her face. Yes, good point. Christina just mentioned, don't forget USARK Florida. Matter of fact, I'm going to, for those of you guys that aren't familiar, I need to have Daniel back on here pretty soon. He's the PR guy for USARK Florida. Awesome guy. Great guy. He's a musician too, so he does that. Let's see. I hit the wrong button again. That's what I get for trying to go so fast with all these blinding lights in my face. Where we at? Let's do that. And I can't see around the camera. There it is. Okay, so those of you guys that haven't seen and you don't know, USARK Florida, there's essentially, you'll see different states that have got USARKs, but the only two real USARKs, USARK National, that's the one that I just showed you guys, and then USARK Florida. They are, they're pretty much, they developed their own entity down there because there's so much stuff going on in Florida. For those of you guys that may be newer to reptiles or something, or may just be in here listening to me bump my gums and you don't have any reptiles, Florida is an ecosystem that's habitable to so many reptiles. It's perfect for so many of them. Problem is that they've really got to be careful what becomes invasive out there. So Florida FWC is really tight on a lot of regulations for what people can keep. Some things are completely restricted because they just don't want to risk people releasing them or escaping and somehow, getting out of the environment thriving. You'll hear people talking about that. As a matter of fact, when I get the Burmese python out, which I should probably do here pretty soon, when I get Apollo out here in a minute, that's a Burm. That's the ones that are the big problem down in Florida. And I would really like to get Clint on here one of these days. Clint Laidlaw from Clint's Reptile Room. Because, of course, I mean, he's a degreed biologist, ecologist, something like that. And I think Daniel is too. I think Daniel's got a degree in biology. But it's a real interesting conversation talking about the ecosystem down in Florida and the berms and how many are there, because everybody says that these things just get down there, they spread out, the population's overrun, all the mammals are eaten. But the thing that they fail to mention is that big snakes start off as little snakes, and little snakes are food for everything. Birds, fish, other little mammals, anything that you could think of. A little snake is a meal for just about anything. So the survival rate from the big clutch, they talk about how they can have 50 egg clutches. Well, yeah, they can. They can also have 10 to 20 egg clutches. And of those, how many of those babies get eaten and fail to thrive, or whatever the case may be? Succumb to parasites, whatever, So yeah, there's a lot of opinions that the problem is overstated. It couldn't have anything at all to do with the fact that Florida is pretty much run by land developers. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, Florida is not known for being the most progressive state with certain things. So, but anyway, yeah, always. There's free memberships that you can get on with USARK Florida too. Again, if you don't have at least that, do it. It helps them out because, bad regulations, bad laws start passing in Florida. They're going to creep up, and monkey see, monkey do. Somebody gets something through in that state. You're like, okay, we got Florida. We're getting Georgia next. South Carolina, North Carolina. All of a sudden, they're back up in New York saying that retakes can take over the environment in New York during a snowstorm. The bad thing about it is that a lot of these laws, a lot of these things that get passed, man, you don't have the best, if any, actual science behind this stuff. It's special interest groups, people that say you shouldn't keep this animal, blah, blah, blah. So anyway. So that's my soapbox on that, but definitely get involved with USARK Florida too. And again, you guys subscribe to the channel and keep up with us. Anytime there's anything important that comes up, I put it out here. Let's see. Yeah, I've got free roam cats out here by my house, and it takes, that's the only time I ever actually want to start hunting again, is when I look at them and I think about all the birds that I don't see and all the reptiles that we can't catch in the woods behind the house because there's 4 or 5 feral cats running around here destroying everything. Let's see. Yeah, so it's a taxi isopods to fix the roads. That won't happen. See, somebody's got some feral cat control over there, it appears. You like the battle hamster thing? They are, man. They're pokey. We don't really interact with him. I'll have to bring him on one of these days. I don't interact with him a whole lot because they're nocturnal. So I never see him during the day. I'll get up in the middle of the night to go get something to drink, and I'll hear him scurrying around in here. I look down, and he's kind of like, "What's up, dude?" But they're a little pokey. Those spines will get you. Here I go, getting way behind on. Oh, cool. Indoor jungle. Good evening. Tegu training is going slowly, but baby steps forward. He's getting there. It's gonna be a kind of a long process with him. Tomorrow, I'm gonna be doing a lot of filming. I'm gonna be capturing a lot of B-roll, taking the animals outside. I'm gonna have Niles out on the harness tomorrow. Have the big snakes out, let them run around, and The Tegu, I'm not going to take him outdoors yet. I'm going to start moving him into Niall's enclosure. Because for those of you guys that don't know, I've got the Nile monitor enclosure where he's got the tub in the basking area and then a big open spot where he can get out, run around, climb around on a branch and whatnot. So I made a door that encloses, it separates the tub and the basking area from the rest of the area there. And so I can go in there and drop that thing, lock it, and then take any of the snakes, any of the other animals in there, set them down, get in there with them, work with them, or I can just let them get in there with a little bit extra space to move around and stuff. So that's what we're going to be doing with the Tegu when tomorrow at some point. It's going to be a busy day because I got to feed tomorrow evening too. So, and then go back to work Monday. So I just keep my fingers crossed like this, waiting on rain days for work. I've kind of must be talking about the cat haters. I've kind of glanced over some of the comments. I haven't read them all. Yeah, it would be great. I mean, Clint's a pretty in-demand guy. Excuse me. Promise I'm going to make my best attempt not to die tonight. But yeah, Greg actually spoke with Clint and brought me up a month or two ago, something like that. And Clint said that he was open to doing something. Again, it's just a matter of getting things lined up, and yeah, once you make contact with somebody, then it gets a little bit easier. But of course, too, I know a lot of people, a lot of the bigger folks especially, have gotten a little bit gun shy of just jumping on with just anybody that they don't know, because there's so many people starting podcasts now. And I know a couple years ago, right about the time I was just starting, there was a couple kind of disreputable, unscrupulous people who were getting some, conning some big names to getting onto the show. And of course, they're like, yeah, sure, I'll come on and help you out. And without knowing kind of what the person's background was, without even seeing what their channel was about, and kind of took some reputation hits, guilt by association type thing. So I think folks are a little bit slower to get on with people now, which is cool. Got all the respect in the world for that, because I mean, I'm the same way. I choose who I associate with, because I don't want to be any the things that we encourage here. I don't want to be hypocritical and go off and jump in with something that's something that we talk out about, I guess. And take, for instance, the live feeding video people. There's no way I'd go on any channel of anybody that does any live feeding videos, because although there's a time and a place for live feeding, I don't completely demonize it. There is no real place for the videos to be put out, especially stuff like the monitor lizards doing live feedings. It's grisly. It's for a pretty twisted audience that likes to see things suffer, and that's just not what I'm about. So yeah, and Greg was saying if I want to have Clint on, we have to do pre-recorded and put it on, which is cool. I'm fine with that. I think it'd be a lot of fun because I really like Clint. You guy's an absolute genius when it comes to animals. Love it. Oh, okay. Hey, Stan is with us. Good to see you, sir. Oh, yeah, that's right, too. I did talk with Bob in messages a little bit. Let him know that, he's got a lot of fans over here, too, and I think it'd be cool if he wanted to pop in. He's another one who's pretty busy. He does the gigs and stuff on the weekends, plus he's working on his own channel. So we will. I need to start doing more collaborations, but my thing is I don't like reaching out and bothering people. I know everybody's got crazy schedules and stuff like that. So I don't know. I do need to start doing more of that stuff. So And I know, like I said, I already talked to Bob, and he was cool with it. We just got to make it happen. So, but he's another one, Bob Bledsoe from Green Room Pythons, that I really like. Really cool guy. He's a really unique guy too. Juggles firing or juggles things on fire and chainsaws, I think, and does Renaissance fairs and all that stuff. So he's quite the character. Yeah. Oh, hey, Sam is in. How you doing? Good to see you. See. Yep. Yeah, he's talking. Yeah, man, monitor lizards, they are. You don't. There's no reason to feed a monitor lizard. There's never, ever a reason to feed a monitor lizard anything alive. They will go and eat the guts out of a weak, dead horse and be perfectly fine. You know, a lot of meat carrion and stuff like that. So you pull a fresh meal out of the freezer, the same quality that you feed your snakes, they're going to be fine. And they're not going to refuse. So, Jar Jar, good to see you. Ethan made it in. How you doing, man? Rocco. Yeah, weekend's been good. It's been busy. Pretty excited to get out and start catching some of this B-roll while I've got all the camera stuff that I need. Yeah. God, what's his? I can't remember. Kent? I think Kent is his alter ego. So, yeah. Yeah, he agree with Betty and Craig that Kent's the backbone of the channel. Maybe I need to do that. Maybe I need to get another camera set up. I sit here with my ball cap on backwards or something with a beer in my hand. That can be my alter ego. Sander, hello. Let's see. Oh, yes. Absolutely. Hit the like button. Get it out there. Share the video. Get some folks on, because tonight, can't believe it's been 40 minutes already. So this is kind of the weird thing for me too about doing these Patreon Zoom calls afterwards now, is because so used to doing these live streams and just going on for 2-3 hours, and now I've got to watch the clock because we run these until about 8:20 roughly. So I've got enough time to go out and fill up my coffee and stuff like that before we start the Zooms. But let me go ahead and post. I know I posted this link somewhere. I'm going to find it real quick. So for those of you guys that are new that you don't know, we've got a Patreon. If you want to jump on, awesome. We absolutely would love to see it grow. And we do a Zoom meetup every Saturday night after this, where you get on, talk about whatever you want to, questions. We can do coaching. Folks that show off their animals, if you got any questions, stuff like that. It's just a good time. We got some really good folks on there, and I thought it would be really cool to open up one of our open Zoom calls to everybody in the live stream, so that everybody that wants to can jump in, kind of talk to everybody, see who's in there, and kind of get an idea what's going on. So, maybe help encourage some folks to jump in, because I definitely, the way, and I explained this a little bit. I don't remember. I think it might have been on the Zoom call and not here. But I mean, one of the reasons why I started the Patreon, besides just helping, because I don't do any breeding, I don't sell any animals. All I do is spend money on recording equipment and feeding animals. So the support from the Patreon really makes a huge difference. I pay between $150 and $200 a month just in subscriptions for editing software and all this other stuff that I use. So it does make a huge difference. Big help. But anyway, one of the reasons why I started that too, outside of that, is that as the channel gets bigger and I get contacted by more people looking for advice, looking for help and stuff like that, I want to triage my time to the channel supporters, you know. So I figured that's the most fair way to do it. So we got the Patreon set up. Anybody that's want help, coaching, and all this other stuff, doing the video conferences, to watching behaviors and things like that. And we've put out a couple videos on that if you guys haven't seen them, that shows kind of how that works. But I thought that was a really good way to do that. So as the channel gets bigger, I'll be taking input from all the Patreon folks on what you may want to see, what you may want to do, what we can do to improve it and stuff like that. Just pretty much, let the Intrepid community build it the way you guys want to. And I'll just keep making videos. So let's see where we at. Oh yeah, guys still talking about the outstanding. Yep, we'll be happy to see you. Hey, man. There we go. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That was the podcast I shared the other day. We got on and chatted. We were sitting back in the backstage before we went live. It was like, what are we going to talk about? I don't know. What do you want to talk about? I don't know. 2 hours later, we're still going. So, let's see. Yeah, and you guys too. That's awesome, man. And another thing too, guys, is a lot of times the handles, because if you guys notice in the intros and stuff, I had all the channel supporters' names on there, and sometimes the handles are just like one little word. So you may want to do like an introduction to yourself when you come in there and say, hey, my name's so-and-so, so that I know what to call you. That always helps. And then, of course, it gets better too doing the Zoom calls. But let me put I am like the worst with the squirrel. I start getting ready to do something and just go off on a tangent. Let's see. I just put this post up here, and that's where this is going to be the easiest way to do it. Now, as far as I know, there's no codes or anything like that's going to be required. The only thing that I ask is sometimes there's young people in the vicinity, so we do keep it PG for the most part. And just be respectful to everybody. We've got a really good community, and we don't have any fighting, bickering, anything like that. So that's the most important part. I know most of the folks that hang out are awesome, but you never know who might pop in and decide to stir the shit pot. We don't want that. There. Okay. So now I got the Zoom address. Got the Zoom address pinned up top there. So when we do get done here, you guys are more than welcome. Jump on there. I'll be jumping in there. I think a lot of the folks can. What did I do? Window liquor. But I think a lot of the folks actually are able to jump in there before I get there, because I know there's a couple times I'll get in there, people already talking. So, oh yeah, I'm working on getting squirrels in the reptile room. Greg was asking if I got squirrels in the reptile room too. So see, I've got this maple tree that's right outside my window that I should have cut down because it's so close to the house. But I've got like 5 or 6 squirrels that'll run around the backyard. So I'll sit out here out the window. I'm up on the 2nd floor here. So I'll sit up here in the window and throw peanuts out to them. Man, they come over and get them and take off. I'm hoping that once this tree, by the end of the year, hopefully it would be gone by then, be in a bigger place. But I'd like to see them start coming up that tree and just taking the peanuts out of my hand. That'll make some pretty good videos too. Should remember to wear pants. I have a problem with that too. Matter of fact, last week when I jumped on here, I was again rushing to get over here on time. I was like, oh yeah, get to put pants on for this. So, let's see. Yeah, he was saying he got a boa in his pick as an adult. First owner got bit, so he was fearful. He wasn't neglected after a lot of work. Trust me, handle him safely. 7 years. Wow. Yeah. Once you get that right mix with these guys, man, they're awesome. I actually had somebody and you know what? Let me quit talking for a second. Get this snake out. Hey, buddy. What you doing? You gonna come see me? Are you mad because I put you in a box? Or are you gonna come see me? Are you coming? Are you going out or not? It'll take him a second. I like to let him come out on his own whenever, move around on his own as much as he can. The thing about berms, though, and a lot of you guys may notice this if you keep both species, when you've got a retic down there and you open it up, they want to climb something. They want to go up. Berms, this guy almost always wants to go down. He likes the ground. Come on, big guy. Come on. You guys make me want to go to the gym. Let's see. There. And this is Apollo. He's getting freaking big. He's just a regular old albino Burmese. And it's amazing too, especially going through the old pictures today as I was trying to put together all my B-roll stuff. Seeing the pictures of some of these animals when I first got them is crazy. Yeah, dude. The snake cup is the bomb diggity. This is the only thing I got to do at some point is I got to take all these stickers and crap off the bottom of it, and I want to put an Intrepid logo on it so that when I tip the cup up, my stickers on it. And it's cool because you don't ever really wash this. This thing just comes out. So we should be okay. Is there any place you're not going to stick your tongue? Let's see. Dude, it's hard for me sometimes when I really get off on a tangent or something like that. It slips, and I feel bad about it when I'm on somebody else's channel too. Because I mean, I was a soldier and a prison guard and all that other crap, and we taught the sailors how to curse. Hey, Caesar, how you doing? Good to see you. I love that profile picture. I put up one. A lot of you guys, if you're on Facebook, probably saw it with the lady in the swamp down there, and she was on a zip lines out over the swamp and onto a deck. And as she comes off the zip line, man, this gator just sticks his head up over the deck like this and starts whooping. It was funny. It's freaking hilarious. Man, we used to give the Navy guys such a hard time. Like the one school that I was at out at Bragg, we had SEALs out there too. And we'd like, it was death by PowerPoint for so long, man. We'd get up every hour and a half for 10 minutes just to stretch and get the blood flowing again, play hacky sack or something. And every time one of the SEALs would miss, I'd be like, man, aren't you guys supposed to be able to like bounce that shit on your nose and or something like that? And yeah, it was like the most mild teasing. What are you doing? It was a lot of fun. One of those schools that you have more fun than you probably should in. I almost did forget my co-host. I got him though. Let me see if I can get caught up here real quick. Oh yeah. Yeah, berm's much thicker than retics when they're done right. Paulo says hello. Get your face in the camera, bud. Why don't you look at everybody over there? This is the one animal, I don't know, man. Any one of the videos that you see him in, it's one of the sweetest animals that I've got. I say that, but they're pretty much all like that. But especially the little baby berm back here behind me. I opened up her enclosure earlier because she flipped her water over. And open up the door and I start turning her water. She pops right out and just comes up and starts licking my nose. Like, hey, can I come hang out for a little while? Great. Oh, yeah, he's a good boy. The story behind this guy is, I don't even remember where I found him, but I did find him and I inquired about him. And he came to me in a little 4-foot PVC enclosure. I got some pictures here at some point. I mean, anyway, he was a lot smaller and dirty and infested with mites. He was in pretty bad shape, actually. And the guy started telling me, he's like, yeah, he's an educational animal. I'm like, well, where the hell are you educating at? One in an old abandoned chicken house or something? But anyway, we got him. We got the mites treated, got him cleaned up, man. His first shed, I was so happy to see. It was perfect. And he stayed that way ever since. And every time I walk up to his enclosure, man, even if I'm down there anywhere, he comes straight up to the door and just starts looking for me to come over there and get him. Let's see. Big snake. This is the smallest of my big snakes. Now, my boa is my smallest of my big snakes. This is my second smallest. The retics are my biggest snakes, and they're still not big snakes. They're only 16, maybe 17 feet now, something like that. The female might be pushing 17. It's so hard to tell. You know, they grow and you're there with them all the time, so you don't notice it until you pull up a picture when they were 4 feet long, and now all of a sudden they're 80 pounds and throwing your back out, moving them around the backyard. You are such a sweet freaking animal. You are such a good boy. You just can't be going down on the floor. You got to stay up here. You're performing tonight. You're my co-host. You're like Guillermo and Jimmy Kimmel. You got to start telling jokes or something. Him, I got to really watch because I got those holes in the back of the chair. And if he starts going through, I think he's too big to get all the way through it. So he might get himself in trouble if he goes back there. Why don't you just stay up here and chill out, bud? Hey, Tara, how you doing? Yeah, it was time to get Apollo up here. He always wants to come out and interact and do stuff. And I feel bad for the big snakes because they just, the little ones up here, they always get all the attention. Matter of fact, bring this down. I even got the wide angle lens on here now. And don't be surprised if you're all of a sudden looking at my dusty ass keyboard because that tripod that the camera's on almost holds it. So it might fall face first. But if it does, I'll fix it. There you go. Hello, man. How you doing? Right? I mean, it was so bad. They was saying, for those of you guys that can't read the chat, he was saying, he says, I don't curse like a sailor. The sailors curse like me. Man, when I was younger working at the prison, we couldn't even socialize. We couldn't go to the bars with anybody other than ourselves because we just had such a sick and twisted sense of humor and foul mouth that I mean, if we went drinking anywhere within 5 miles of a church, there'd be torches and pitchforks and people throwing holy water on us. Let's see. Come on, you. Would you stop running around? Here I go. Hey, Elle, how you doing? Well, she said she'd love to see some of the ball pythons one day. I have 2 ball pythons, a male and a female. The female is an older normal, and the younger male is a ghost. And one thing, if you're just starting to follow me, one thing you're going to find is that if you start sending me questions, asking me about morphs and genetics and all that other stuff, then I'm going to refer you to somebody who knows what they're talking about. Who was actually talking about that earlier today. I have devoted 0 mental real estate to genetics and morphs and all that stuff. I've tried to get interested in it because being in reptiles, it's one of those things that I should probably know about, but I seriously can't force myself to care about it. I've not gotten one animal in my house because of how it looked. I've taken it in because somebody needed an animal to be taken in, or I seen an opportunity to get a particular species. None of my retics were something that I sought out because of the way it looked, and I don't care what they look like. To be honest with you, I like interacting with them. And being quite honest, I'd kind of like you just to be normal. Well, yeah, so see, I got to take that back because the one that I did get, because of the color pattern, was little Athena, my little female Burmese back there. Because I love the normal pattern. So I wanted a big normal pattern Burmese. I already had him. But yeah, like I said, I tried to, and I just can't get interested in it. I mean, this snake could be black or purple, or it doesn't matter. Because it's just like people. It's not what color they are that matters. It's what's going on in this little melon right here. And it's that interaction that I like. So, of course, that being said, too, I did end up getting a couple kind of unique animals here that, I love interacting with them, but they still, matter of fact, I think probably for those of you guys that are newer, the most unique animals that I've really got, woohoo, it's drugs time. Found out I was diabetic. They put me on diabetes medication, so now I've got reminders set to remind me to take my pills. I made it 50 years, but hopefully I've actually gotten it under control in the course of about 3 weeks. Pretty drastic diet changes and medications. So probably another month or so, I may try going off of it. We'll see. Just trying not to die. So, see. You say it only 60 foot. Yeah, man. Largest retics I've ever worked with was I've worked with a 22 footer that was pushing 200 pounds, close to it. And weigh it. But I am fairly certain that it was really close to 200 pounds. So yeah, man, my 16, 17 foot retics are not big snakes. They're really not. There's much bigger. Of course, my female, I expect her to get every bit of 18 feet. I would love to see her get 20 feet. She's a normal mainland motley, so it's possible. Do I handle the biggest one solo, or do I have a helper? Never handle a big snake without somebody else around. And that's all I'm going to say. Yeah. I mean, any experienced keeper that you talk to, if they're home by themselves, they got to clean a cage. They're not going to just sit there and stare at the cage until somebody's there, unless they know it's a problem animal and there's a risk. I've had my animals for years. We know we know each other really well. They're easy to work with. So, but it is one of those things. It's just like one of those things where, if I'm doing a video where I go into the enclosure on this guy, I know his body language so well and his behavior and his demeanor that I'll open up the door. He'll look like he's got a hot food response because he just darts right over to the door, but he's darting over because he wants to come out and he's excited that I'm opening the door. So I'll put my hand out there and let him crawl right out on it. But, those of you guys that remember the one lady that took that bite and wrap from the retic she kept in a fish aquarium, snake starts coming out. She puts her hand out. He's like, bites her, wraps her. And then they spend 5 minutes trying to figure out how to get her off. No, don't go back there. Yeah, hang out. That's the kind of thing that I mention when I get him out and I'm not using the hook or anything. It's like, that's one of those cases where it's like, do what I say, not what I do. A newer keeper will get in trouble with, just assuming that they can handle them like that, and when in fact it might be a food response and they could be setting themselves up for a bite. So, but yeah, rule of thumb is any snake. Some people say any snake over like 6-7 feet. Some people say any snake around 12 feet. Actually, my 4-foot Burmese over there came close to putting me out the other night. She was up here. She wrapped around my neck. She decided, a 4-foot snake this big around, you don't really worry about it. I put her around my neck, let her hang out there. And she all of a sudden decided to get on and squeeze. And I could feel myself getting lightheaded. I'm sure my color was changing. And it took me a second to get a hold of her tail to start pulling her off, too. So I was like, man, this is going to suck. So it's got a lot to do with the skill level of the handler, too. But you always want to have somebody around when you've got bigger snakes out. April, hello. First time here. Welcome. Good to see you. And we still got a little bit of time, too. See, this is really weird we might all have to figure out a new time to do the Patreon meetup. We might have to change that schedule because, like I said, man, these live streams just start going so fast when you get used to doing like 2-3 hours. I think one of these days I need to do like a marathon, sit on here all weekend. See how many super chats we can get in 24 hours or something. Let's Caesar, appreciate it. He really appreciates the channel. Need more reptile channels to help educate people. Yes, we do. Yeah, for every one channel out there that's fighting their retics off a clutch of eggs, we need to have 10 channels out there telling everybody how full of shit he is. Oh, yeah, he is. And he knows it, too. I see. I just did. I'm kind of almost keeping up with you there. Would you stop? Really? Seriously? Get over here. Hey, we are not reptile nerds. We are reptile super nerds, if that's a thing. We got one thing you'll find hanging out over here, April. We have got some really awesome people that hang out here. Really good keepers, really intelligent folks, and no drama. So. Yeah, he's talking about the running jokes after we retire. We're going to be Walmart greeters. I'd be a Walmart greeter if they let me stand there with my snake all day. That way we keep all the sissies out of the Walmart. Let's see. I think April's running down. Hey, stop pulling stuff off the desk. Crazy. God. Why can't you just stop and chill for a second? Let's see. Northern blue tongue skink, tree skink, leopard gecko, western hognose. We love western hognoses here. Cresties too. Breeding colony of pygmy chameleons. Awesome. That'd be really cool. It sounds like you got some cool stuff. Welcome aboard. Yeah. They are definitely puppy snakes. There again, too, all of my snakes are like that. So, I mean, that's one good thing. I think in total I've got like 15 snakes. You know, I've got a few big ones, a few medium-sized ones, a few small ones, and I've got more than enough. Well, don't have more than enough time to spend with them, but I've got a small enough collection that I can actually interact with them. And you know, if I go downstairs and I see one of them cruising, I've got time to take them out, let them run around and stuff like that. So. Let's see. Oh, thank you very much. Another super chat from L. It's not really into ball python morphs. I just like to see the adult ball pythons being handled. Online, you always see many people focus on morphs or hatchlings. You are awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Appreciate the kind words. And I have found the same thing. Like I said, man, I don't breed. I don't get into all of the genetics and stuff like that. So to just sit there and watch different color snakes come across the screen with a bunch of morphs that I've never heard of and will never own and will never breed, it's just like, you know, to have some fun with the animals. They're not, you know, it's not like designer shoes. You know, oh, mine are purple, mine are red, mine have got a little buckle right here. It's like, oh man. I mean, these things are so cool to interact with. And there's so many challenges that people have just first getting them and stuff like that. There's so much other stuff to talk about. You know, like I said, man, props to anybody that wants to breed and stuff like that. And cool. Man, I got some friends that are just amazing breeders. Like I said, that's just not my gig. Yeah, you're type 2 too. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do this now or else I'm going to completely forget. And you got to understand too, I'm one of those guys that I don't take aspirin. I don't I rarely ever, I might drink once or twice a year, something like that. I haven't done any drugs since I was 17 years old, so. Getting on the whole medication train is awkward to me. Let's see. Yeah, and that's one thing too. I know a lot of the big breeders try and do this, but they get so many animals, it can be difficult, especially with a lot of them trying to find good help that actually knows how to socialize them. But I know one person, Jordan from Heartland Reptiles, who he just had his first super dwarf clutch not too long ago. Does an awesome job getting them snakes nice and used to you and stuff like that. Tara says, shame on me for handling by myself. Okay, well, I'll have you know I'm not by myself. There's 37 people in here with me. So, just saying. So I've got all the help I need. Yeah, Craig was saying a big thing he watches for with his snakes and not to let them wrap around the neck. Yep. That's one thing. Like you'll see when I'm holding this one, I've always got this shoulder, almost always got this shoulder, open. There's going to be sometimes, but I've wrestled some pretty gnarly snakes in my day, so I kind of know what my limitations are. That's one reason why, we tell people always have somebody else there, because if you've never actually fought a snake before, it's amazing how difficult they can be. I fought some big, nasty retics in my day, taking some pretty nasty bites and wraps. So, I know what my threshold is to where I can manage it, and then I need to call for help, which I've had to do before. So this little 12-foot berm who's super mellow he's okay. I'm not worried about him. Where can you find the Zoom call? It is pinned up in the top of the chat. So that very top comment up there, I pinned it. That is the Zoom link. And for those of us regular every week guys, I started putting out the recurring link for all the Zoom calls, but of course that's different. I didn't use the recurring link for tonight. I made a new one. So the one that we're using tonight is just for tonight, and we will go back to the recurring link next weekend. So yeah, my mom never had to tolerate reptiles. The biggest thing she had to worry about with animals was when I was a kid and I worked at the stable, and I'd ride a horse home for lunch, and she'd complain about me stinking up her kitchen and making it smell like horse. Tara must have been talking about. Yeah, I mean, we can do that. I mean, the last couple Zoom calls I think have went like 2 hours. So, if we end up bumping it back to 9 o'clock or something, then that might be fine too. Tonight, I'll definitely just keep it at 8:30. Like I said, because we've got the open call tonight. So anybody in the live stream that wants to come over, more than welcome to. Let's see. I always unapologetically call out Jay. I will continue to call out Jay. I get on Jay's Facebook and Instagram, and I call him out on there, and I get the same bullshit corporate response that you would expect from a Hollywood person. or wherever in the hell he is at, in Southern California somewhere. I've just got a problem with that, man. I him getting out there and fighting those snakes and making those retics look like stone cold freaking killers does not help our case at all. Any one of my breeder friends, any of the clutches that I've pulled out from underneath 18-foot snakes, it was never a fight. You know, you pay attention to the snake, they lay, they get tired, you go in, you lift them up, you slide the clutch out. You don't fight. The snake is perfectly content. You know, they get their energy back in the next day or two. But, I mean, what that jerk off does is he goes out, lets them lay, lets them rest up, has them in that box that he can pull out in front of everybody. And he's got cameras and people and all that shit over there and starts jumping in her face. I mean, Jay knows what he's doing. You know, he knows that he's pissing a snake off and he's intentionally getting them to strike at him so that he can impress somebody and get attention and give views and all that other stuff. And that's just not cool. So I just don't think you should stress your snakes out unnecessarily. And plus, you know, all this stuff, it's a nuanced enough discussion when we're talking about big snakes, because just like we was having a discussion over on Chris's channel the other day, you know, big snakes are really a double-edged sword. It's a completely opposite conversation depending on the animal and depending on the keeper. They can be perfectly safe. They can be so easy to keep. They can be so easy to keep up with. They can be easy to manage. I don't care if you've got a 20-foot snake. Karma, the 20-foot snake that Garrett has out there at Reach Out Reptiles, sweetest girl in the world. You know, outside of her size, you know, they're easy to manage. I actually had her like wrapped around me like 2 or 3 times coming down out of the rafters last year at Retic Fest. You know, was never the least bit worried about her biting me. She was just so heavy and hanging on so tight that I couldn't breathe for a minute. But, you know, I got her down on the floor and it was all good. But, I mean, the thing with big snakes is that if it's done right, and you're socializing the animal, you're treating them right, and you know what you're doing, they're super, super easy. I don't care if they're 20 foot long. If you don't know what you're doing and you're not treating the animal right, you don't know how to read their behavior, you don't know how to treat them and, you know, respond to what they're showing you, then you can take a good animal and make them a holy terror and literally just have the most terrifying experience of your life. You know, I've worked with some very, very scared big snakes before that. You know, I've seen the big ones where you look at them and you go, you know what? I know that if I open that enclosure, it's going to get ugly. And so I mean, it can go one of two ways, which is why we put so much effort into calling out jackasses like Jay for doing what he does, and you know, just trying to educate folks on, you know, this is what you do, this is what you look for. Because it's an amazing experience that you can have with these animals. You just got to go about it right. Because just like we say, if anything bad happens, it's not the snake's fault. It's always the person's fault. So, oh man, I must be really, really behind in these, because we're still at that. It was like forever ago we was talking about that. Yeah. How big is that snake enclosure? We're talking about how big of an enclosure this one's in. He is in an 8-footer. In an 8-foot PVC enclosure. Okay, I'm gonna scoot through some of these so I don't miss any questions. Oh, damn. Nice. Oh my God, I'm a step ahead of you. I'm 50 years old. Quit momming me. Mm. Hey man, how you doing? I have the latest game. For those of you guys that don't know, I really am a nerd. I'm a PC gamer. Matter of fact, I made a video off of Microsoft Flight Simulator a while back that I just ran across today. I almost published it, but no, my latest game I've been playing is off Steam called Enshrouded. It's an RPG survival game, and it's got like the best building mechanics, best base building mechanics I've seen ever. So I got started on that, and that's what I've been playing. And I'm thinking when I get done with that, I'm probably going to go back to Red Dead Redemption 2 and do that again, because that's the best game ever made in the history of games. So, let's see. Yeah, I mean, whatever works. Yeah, that's a good question. That's funny too. He was talking about call it a hobby or a lifestyle or an industry or a business, and I don't really know what to call it. When I talk about reptile hobby, it always sounds weird when I say it. And these guys, I don't consider these guys a hobby. They're my friends. I don't know. And at this point, they're your family. You work with these animals long enough and you build that relationship. I mean, go ahead and look at your wife and tell her she's your hobby. See how she reacts. Kind of the same thing with my animals, man. They're you guys aren't a hobby. I wouldn't want you to go anywhere else because we're cool like that. Yeah, I don't know what to call it. I don't know that it's a hobby, but no more than keeping a dog is a hobby, Oh, how do you go about getting a shirt? If I'm not mistaken, it's been a while since I set it up. 3 ways, 2 ways, 3 ways. One way, I think shirts go out with Patreon members eventually. There's the tiers and stuff like that. I think there's shirts that go out with that at some level. Don't hold me to that. I'll have to check. If you go to the channel, at the bottom of all the videos, I've got a link down there for our store. We've got a store where we sell, the coffee mugs. We got shirts, like this and several other designs. I'm going to be working on some other stuff too as we go. But there's the store that you can click under on the YouTube channel under the videos, and you can also there's a link to the whole store. So I don't know that I really like the way Facebook or YouTube really sets it up. So I just put the link for the Spreadshirt store at the bottom of all the videos too. And I'm going to get to the end of these comments if it kills me. Yep. Fago knows what's up. He knows it's 100% for views. And when you call him out on it, he doesn't even try and hide it. He's just like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like I said, he gives you the corporate response and pretty much tells you to go piss up a rope. So. Yep. Yeah, like I said, guys, the shirts and everything like that's all up on the store. By all means, jump on, and I'll go back and double check some stuff. Like I said, I want to get a couple of unique designs to get out there. Something that's going to sell really well. Just like Kevin has got his hands, it's What's for Dinner shirt. I've actually got to buy another one of those because I've worn that one out. But I want to find my own design and slogan and stuff to to get on one, something that's really catchy. Get a bunch of them out there. Yeah, guys, I really do like the comments on the videos and the stuff on Facebook. I try and read every single comment and remark and stuff that comes in. So if you got any ideas or suggestions and stuff, feel free to drop them in there. I may not act on it immediately just because of the way the schedule is, but I do have some things I want to start working on. So, Bosa, how are you doing, sir? Good to see you. I'll tell you what. If you get on Red Dead Redemption 2, just go ahead and empty your calendar for like 6 months. The AI on that game, the graphics, the everything on it is friggin' amazing. Easily, hands down, the best. And I've got, like I said, I've been doing this stuff a long time, and I build my PC, and I'm a big nerd, and that's like the best game ever. Cyrus, just seeing you. Just wanted to say hello. Let's see. Aha. I made it all the way to the end. I got all caught up. Yeah. So Jay makes it a lot harder for people like us who try to educate while he's painting these animals in bad light. We're working 10 times as hard to show them for what they really are. Yep. I mean, that's the thing, though. Jay's got his situation out there to feed his ego everything that it can eat, and he'll just stuff food down the neck of his animals to get them as big as possible and make them look like the biggest assholes possible, and he's got his, and screw everybody else. So, I mean, I try my best on the channel to think that anything that I put out is going to be watched by congressmen and fish and wildlife people and mayors and animal control, and new keepers that might be getting stuff. I mean, you think about the people that will be exposed to it and stuff, and you want to try and put things in the best light possible while still being honest about it. And it's possible to do it. That's why I say it's kind of tough sometimes to talk about retics because they are so friggin' awesome to work with when it's done right. But if you don't do it right and you don't know what you're doing, it's gonna hurt bad and a lot. I just like my Nile monitor downstairs, man. I've seen people over the years, having these little enclosures with 2 and 3 baby Nile monitors in there, thinking, "Oh, look at the Nile monitors I'm going to raise up." I'm like, you have no idea what you're getting yourself into, man. It's been years and years and years and years. Well, not years and years and years and years. It's been a couple of years, few years, maybe, working with him to get him the way he is. Yeah. Oh, cool. Been watching the Tegu series. Yeah, like I said, I think the last Tegu series video I put out was Wednesday, and Thursday and yesterday I didn't put out any videos. I went down to see him and messed with him a little bit, just kind of being there, but we didn't do any real work. So the next video that I put out is still going to be pretty much keeping in line with recording all the handling sessions. But, he's settling in. I think he's getting ready to do pretty good. I am going to put him back because, God, even sitting down in a chair, he's trying to kill my back. Come on. Get in the box. Oh my God. Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. I'm getting older. Monty, my big retic is getting bigger. So hang out long enough, guys. You'll see me in a walker at some point. Oh, let's see. What do we... Trying to think. Okay, so... Really? I just happened to refresh Facebook over here, and Dax just said he went to the bird store today. That dude. Talk about Dax from D&T Retics. Got a chance to meet him not too long ago. He came out and hung out at Aubrey's place for the weekend, which meant I hung out there for the weekend too. But yeah, Dax is a great guy. But now I got to at some point tonight go see which bird you went to get. Speaking of birds, we got to get over to Jeremy Turgeon, Brassman Reptiles. He recently had acquired an egg from a person, which is pretty common for reptile breeders to acquire eggs. This one hatched, and what came out of it was an emu, about this big. He hatched his own emu, and so now he's going to be raising that. Just talked to him the other day. I don't think he's going to be keeping him over there through his whole adulthood, because these things are friggin' dinosaurs. You know, they get a mile high. But yeah, we talked about going over and recording some stuff over there, especially around the time he starts getting some more of these tree boa hatchlings out, because he's got some amazing friggin' animals over there. And now he's got an emu. So whenever we do get over there and we get this stuff, you know, set up to go over there and film, we'll have a little bird to play with too. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it before. Go on YouTube and look up Useless Farm. There's this black-haired lady who runs a little farm out there, and she's got like alpacas and llamas and emu, and she's got this emu named Karen, who is the biggest bitch in the world. All the videos, if she's in reach of that thing, it is charging her with the neck feathers flared, and she spends the whole video just stiff arming him in the neck, her in the neck. Yeah, it's friggin' hilarious. So I'd really like to contact her and get her on the channel at some point, because she's just cool, and she's friggin' hilarious. It cracks me up. But yep. And make sure everybody comes to the Zoom call. I mean, actually, you know, it's getting to be 8:34 now. So there's no reason, since this is open to everybody tonight, we can't go ahead and transition over. Is there anybody, before I shut this down, that doesn't know where the link is or needs another second to get it, that is interested in coming on? And like I said, you know, it is a Zoom call. You're not required to have your camera on if you don't want to. It's perfectly fine. You know, a lot of times, you know, people will come in, they'll have, you know, their logos, they'll have the audio on, stuff like that. So you don't have to. If you don't want to put pants on, don't want to turn your camera on, cool. You still come in and shoot the shit with us. But it's always cool to be able to see who it is that we're talking to and who's behind the names. So, but yeah, I don't see anybody speaking up saying that they don't have it. So, tell you what, before I get off of here, I'm going to go to that link myself. And I'm not going to launch it right yet because it's probably going to screw up my camera. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. The link, like I said, Mom, the link is pinned in the top of the comments. I put a comment in there with a link on it, and it's stuck to the top. So if you look at the very top comment that's always on the screen, there's a link there, and all you got to do is hit that. I'm going to, as soon as I shut this down. No, like I said, this particular Zoom call tonight, it's our regular paid Patreon Zoom call, but I'm opening it up to everybody. Just so anybody who wants to come in, kind of see who's out and who hangs out and stuff like that, and talk and show off animals and all that. Then everybody is welcome for tonight. And of course, we'll go ahead and have it all be paid Patreon members after that. But yeah, just wanted to give everybody a chance to come in and see who hangs out, and maybe help motivate some folks to join. The bigger that gets, the more stuff we can do. The better camera lenses we can get. And we'll see. If you guys don't, if you're unable to find it or get in for some reason like that, hit me up on Facebook, send me a message. I'll make sure to get it over to you. And I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. And I'm going to start the Zoom call and then take a 5-minute break to refill my coffee and stuff. And we will see you guys there. All you got to do, Sam, for the Zoom thing is to just click the link. It'll take you there. It'll ask you to open it up and, enable your camera and microphone, stuff like that. Pretty easy stuff. Like I said, if you have any problems getting in and you want to get in, just hit me up on Facebook Messenger and I will help you get in. And we will see you guys there. And for those of you guys that don't go, you have an awesome week. And hopefully we get some good video footage tomorrow. Having all the animals out there. So yeah, we'll see you guys over in the Zoom call. Have a great night.